undesirable kids from the bad neighborhoods out of their schools. In addition to that, who's going to provide busing to these charter schools and these private schools? Like quite literally nobody, because if we defund the Department of Education, then there's no money to provide transportation. So now those parents are going to have to figure out how to get their kids there. We're going to get rid of school lunch programs. So for those kids, those 1 in 5 kids that go to bed without food every night, now they're not even going to have access to eat lunch for free, right? So they're going to have to go to school. Their parents are going to have to figure out how to get them there, figure out how to feed them when they were already having problems feeding them, right? So this is a terrible idea. Why don't we fund all schools equitably? Simply, why don't we just fund all schools equitably? Then we don't have to bus kids from here and there and everywhere. Now we don't have to make them choose because all of the schools are equitably funded. All the schools have the exact same access to resources. All of the schools have the same books, the same computers, the same everything. So now they don't have to make a choice. It doesn't matter where they go. They're all good.
And you do realize that
schools good schools.
But you do realize that giving kids more iPads is not necessarily going to make them pay attention in school. I mean, like when we talk about funding, what exactly are we talking about? And their freedom of choice when it comes to schools, education, right? And then with the LGBT stuff, all that don't say gay stuff, all of that is bullshit, dude. Like nowhere,
I live in Florida. It does.
Exactly. Nowhere in that bill does it say that.
It does. It says it cannot be discussed at all. What does that mean? If you can't discuss it, that means you can't say it. And you
the word gay?
Again. Yes, you cannot discuss any queer identities. So if you can't discuss it, you can't say it. So no, does it say you can't say gay? No, it says you can't discuss LGBTQIA plus related issues. You cannot discuss them. So
in general, what's the context?
Period.
What's the context of that bill?
Under any context, you cannot within the classroom discuss LGBTQIA plus.
So to kids.
At all. You cannot discuss it.
So bingo, that's where it is. They try to protect kids, man. It's not about taking away LGBT. That's not protecting kids. If I'm a child, right, that has 2 gay parents, and I'm not even allowed to talk about my parents in school, or if I'm a teacher who happens to be gay, right, and I can't even put a picture of my significant other, my spouse, up on the desk. Like that's not protecting kids. What you're doing nobody is stopping you from doing that, though.
What you're doing is you're teaching children to become bigots. Because if you don't tell them, hey, these other people actually exist and it's okay to exist in this manner, then you're creating more bigots. You're creating more of the problem you said you want to go away.
I have a question. So let's unpack that about LGBTQ curriculum. What does that look like?
Curriculum?
Yeah, like a curriculum. Or you said don't say gay, right?
This is simple. This is very simple. Hey, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Women love women. Or men love men. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, people are men, and sometimes they're women, and sometimes they're somewhere in between. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes that they're both. And all of these people are okay. They're not here to harm you. You know what I'm saying? They're no different than you. They're still human beings, and they should be treated as such. It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
Okay, so what if that in question goes against an individual or a parent's religious beliefs?
Take your kids out of school and teach them at home. Or have your child opt out. Those are your choices. Hey, listen, I want my child to opt out. I prefer my child be a bigot.
So what you're suggesting is that should be forced upon parents that don't want it? Is that what you're saying?
I just said that. I said they could opt out.
You should opt out.
Yeah. Hey, I want my kid to be a bigot. So I'm gonna opt out.
No, look, here's the thing. I don't care as far as how people live their lives. People can live however they want to. I think the issue here is that when it comes to certain curriculum in regards to LGBTQ people or whatever the case is, I think that, again, I don't think that it should be forced upon an individual if they don't. You said and mentioned that they should opt out.
We force a whole bunch of shit on children. Like literally Christianity is forced on children regularly in this country. You know what I'm saying? Like we force a whole bunch of ideology. We force a history on them that is not an accurate, you know what I'm saying, or fairly depicted history. We force that on them. We indoctrinate them with saying the Pledge of Allegiance. You know what I'm saying? We indoctrinate them by telling them to stand up for the national anthem. You know what I'm saying? When a lot of those things, the Bible says you can only serve one master. So to be honest with you, Christians shouldn't even be doing that. We lied to them about how America was discovered. We lied to them about enslaved people. We lied to them about indigenous people. Like we indoctrinate them with all types of shit. You have no problem with that indoctrination?
No, I didn't. Oh,
okay.
That's not my position.
I think that when we need to start doing is start being honest with children. We just
I
need to
think
start being
right,
honest.
right. Okay, so I've been quiet for a while. So I'm not against trying to be honest with children, okay, or even educating them. Right? I don't have an issue with that. I think my issue here is that when you're introducing certain ideologies to people that have clearly said, you know what, you can live how you want to, but in regards to you imposing this ideology onto my children, I have a problem with it. There are schools now that propose a lot of the what you call LGBTQ curriculum against the parents' wishes. I don't think that's right, though.
I don't think that's happening.
Oh, I know. No, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
but LGBTQI
Yeah.
plus is not an ideology. It's weird. What Christianity is an ideology. Like LGBTQIA plus is a state of being. Like it's an actual state of being. It's not an ideology. So it's weird that you would describe it as such.
Well, it depends what we're talking about because, for example, the people who think Christianity is just a fantasy and a
I didn't say
story.
that. I just said it was an ideology.
No, I'm just saying like people who think that, right? People who think that, oh, how can you believe in Christianity or whatever? The same
don't,
people, the people will say, how can you believe that a man is a woman? It's the same thing. It's
so
the exact same thing.
Okay, you know what? You know what? You know
no,
what? You know what?
Sosa, please, man. I'm trying. Let me
But
answer.
wait
what
a minute.
he said.
You've been talking a long time, G.
But
I've
he
been
said
quiet the
something
whole
to
goddamn
me.
time.
That's your choice, bro. He said something to me.
All right, go ahead.
He wasn't
go
talking to
ahead.
you,
Go ahead,
bro.
man. Go ahead, man.
Like, are you a Christian the right way?
I don't subscribe to any religion, but I do believe in a creator. Yeah, I believe in God.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those people who claim, you know what I'm saying, to be Christian, right? For those people who claim to be Christian, the first thing that we have to analyze here is who was Jesus? Well, Jesus was a Jewish person. And under Jewish law, because that's all Jesus ever knew was Jewish law. That's what he taught. That's what he lived by. Under Jewish law, there's fucking 6 or 8 different genders. So, and that's what Jesus would have believed. So I'm supposed to take, you know what I'm saying, like with Christians created after Jesus died, hundreds of years after Jesus died, and go by that? Or should I go by what Jesus believed?
So, oh wait, I swore that Jesus believed in man and woman in the union
Yeah.
of the man and woman.
No.
God over man, man over woman,
pretty
Adam
sure
and
he
Eve,
did.
not Adam and Steve.
Yeah,
so-
I'm pretty sure Christ believed that. But then also, let me say this here.
So you're telling
Okay,
me
if
that
your
all people
position
came
is-
from 2 individuals?
Wait, hold on a second. Before we get to that, I want to say something here because, like I said, I've just been chilling. I've been listening, taking everything in. So, if your argument is that we should educate children, right, and tell them the truth, okay, let's go for it. Let's teach them everything then. Teach them about cults, teach them about Bohemian Grove, every secret society in those groups, teach them about LGBTQIA+, teach them about Christianity, teach them about Islam, teach them about Judaism, all of it then. Let's go. Let's do it.
I don't think that any of those things are going to benefit them in terms of like living, you know what I'm saying, equitably within a society. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, I think that most of those things should be elective. But I don't know that teaching them conspiracy theories and shit like that or all the different religions.
Jones.
But you could at least, hold on, let me finish. But you can at least teach them to respect those other religions.
Name
don't
one
see any
thing
problem
name one right that LGBT people do not have, that straight people have. Like, this is bogus right now, bro.
No, it's not. It's not bogus. They have the right.
Yes, it
so
is.
they don't. No, they don't have the right. They don't have the right to gender affirming care in many states. So that's one right that they don't have that straight people have. Like, you know what gender affirming care is? Like, if a woman wants to go get breast implants, she can do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, want somebody that's a cisgender woman. If people like Donald Trump want to go get fucking hair plugs, that's gender affirming care. You know what I'm saying? Going to get tanning, that's gender affirming care. Like, all of these things that men or women do to make themselves feel more masculine or more feminine is gender affirming care. But you'll take that away from people that are transgender, right?
Did you just
They
say
have-
that tanning is gender affirming care?
Fuck yeah, if it makes you feel, you know what I'm saying, like
Wait a minute.
more comfortable with who you are.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you want to have gender affirming care, that's fine, but make sure you're 18 plus or older. Not
No,
Yeah.
sir. We do gender affirming care for people that are way under 18.
That's the
but
issue,
it's
man. That's why they
That's
take it away from
inappropriate.
you.
That's
Stop.
inappropriate.
Nobody. So, what's inappropriate is putting little girls in beauty pageants and shit like that. That's inappropriate. Teaching, you know what I'm saying, indoctrinating children on all of these other things that I already mentioned, lies about our history and so on and so forth. That's inappropriate. Teaching or affirming somebody's representation of their inner self is the best thing you could do for somebody's mental health, literally. And we have
But
studies.
you're
to
talking
show
about
this.
mental health.
I'm not
Wait,
talking. Hold on.
you're talking
I'm not,
about.
Hold on. I'm not talking
A
about
child's
getting
brain
surgery.
isn't fully developed. Do you understand that, Jones? Right?
What your gender identity is fully developed by the time you're like 6 or 7 years old.
Dude, I'm 25. I always change my mind. You think a little kid
About
is
your
ready to
gender?
mutilate their own body?
I never
Like
said
what?
anything about surgery. You hold on. You're telling me that you're not certain about your gender at 25?
Well, I'm not a kid. We're talking about kids. You think kids
Okay.
are ready to do that?
Were you certain about your gender at 10?
You can't reverse a gender surgery, a gender affirming surgery.
That's also not true. But nobody. I never advocated for surgery, not one time. Did you know
Really?
if you were a boy or girl at 10?
So if I cut my penis off,
Did
that's
you know
reversible.
if you were a boy or girl at 10?
At 10, I'm pretty sure I knew I was a boy.
Oh, exactly. Did you know if you were a boy or a girl at 6?
I still don't think you should give them surgeries because it's irreversible.
I never once said anything about surgery, and no, it's not.
Even if I think I'm a girl, you cannot let a child do that, bro. You
never once said that I think that children should get surgery. I never said that.
What's gender affirming care?
I thought you were defending that. I thought you were defending giving
Gender
them that
affirming
type
care
of...
is not necessarily surgery. Like what?
Yeah.
Gender affirming care, like if I know if my outer self, you know what I'm saying, if I know that my outer self doesn't match my inner self, right, and I start going through puberty, and I start growing boobs, but I know that I'm not a girl, right? I know that I'm not a girl, and I start growing boobs. That's going to make me quite uncomfortable. That's probably going to, you know what I'm saying, like make me have some mental health issues. So hormone suppressants have been given to children with precocious puberty for decades. Like that's something we've been doing for decades, right? And we know that it has lower side effects than does over-the-counter medication. So there's no reason why we can't make sure that they don't go through puberty. And once they stop, if they decide that this is not for them, the puberty blockers, all of that is reversible. They'll just start having puberty. It's not going to cause them, you know what I'm saying, any type of issues.
Well, here's what I want to say, right? So the gender affirming care, right? That can also mean talking to a therapist. I'm not saying it only means surgery, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk to a therapist, so like, for example, let's say you're anorexic, right? You think you're super fat and so you're not eating, you're throwing up on purpose or whatever because you think you look fat, even though you're obviously malnutrition, you're very skinny. The therapist should not say, yeah, you're right, you're fat, keep doing what you're doing. They should say, you're going through something mentally, you're not fat at all, you need to start taking care of your health. So why would you tell a little boy who thinks he's a girl, yes, you're a girl, go ahead and get these surgeries? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
nobody's
that's
telling you
that's
keep
not
saying
care.
surgery. You keep
that
saying
is not
surgery.
Care.
You keep saying
Okay.
surgery, and I never said surgery. Number one. Number two, that's not what the therapists do. They never say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me just decide that you are this thing that you say you are. They put them through a series of, you know what I'm saying, analyzations to find out if they actually, you know what I'm saying, are expressing, what they're expressing is the true representation of their inner self. Like, they put them through a battery of tests. They don't just
and then they tell the parents.
Here.
Those therapists, they tell the parents. Those therapists tell the parents, if you don't give this kid the hormone, like the hormones or the surgery, that your kid might unalive himself. That's what they tell the parents. And then there's guilt. There's all these things. Not true at all. Then they have the surgery, and it's irreversible.
How many times wrong. How many times you've been to a therapist, and how many times you've been to a therapist in terms of gender affirming care?
I've never had any confusion as far as
okay. So then you
my
probably
gender or
don't
whatever.
know. So then you probably don't know what's happening then.
There's literally firsthand stories of kids that will tell you that the therapist didn't even listen to them, and they expedited these surgeries and stuff.
That's not true. It needs to be insistent, consistent, and persistent. There is no motivation for a therapist to literally just make up something and force somebody onto medication or surgery or anything else. That literally does not happen.
Yes, because they're afraid
would just lose their license. That person would just lose their license.
They're afraid of being called homophobic and transphobic.
No.
And so they bow down to the freaking liberals and shit.
No.
That's what they've been doing.
No.
Yeah.
They follow the process. They follow the process. It'd be insistent, consistent, and persistent. You know what I'm saying? They literally put them through a battery of tests to make sure that child, you know what I'm saying, is truly experiencing gender dysphoria. And if they're truly experiencing gender dysphoria, they have to go to an endocrinologist. They have to go to several other doctors. And when they go to those several other doctors, those doctors all come together with the parents and the patient and then they decide a course of action, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, whether it be hormone suppression or, you know what I'm saying, various other treatments. But they don't just say, "Oh yeah, come on in. Let me write you a prescription for for hormone blockers." That does not happen. And y'all need to stop propagating this nonsense because it's harmful to people. Like you're literally causing people to be harmed for no reason.
Did you know that there's already been studies, man, and they're going to hide this as much as they can, but there's been studies that most, like 80% of people who are LGBT or whatever, they have these traumatic childhood experiences. There are studies that prove this. There are studies that prove that people start to grow out of the gender dysphoria once they hit puberty. There's literally studies that prove this. And you guys are still with, let me just transition my 6-year-old child. That's bullshit, bro. That is literally you being in the Democratic leftist cult. You say that we're in a cult, but you would hurt children, bro, just to defend your party. That is crazy.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. By the way, guys, I feel like we kind of got a little bit off topic. I'm gonna have to leave in a bit. So is there anything you guys want to say before we go? Any like closing statements?
Yeah, I'm good. Nah, I just wish that you guys would actually provide sources for your information. I think that you guys are being harmful to communities for no reason. And like, I don't want to hear about Christianity anymore until people start acting like Christians. And I don't want to hear of like the right or conservatives or Republicans acting like there's some moral authority when the vast majority of what they do is blocking people from access, to things that would benefit their lives. They literally do nothing for the American people whatsoever. They're feckless as fuck.
Well,
anywho, y'all have a good one.
I got you. So what I would say to that basically is that obviously, I'm in complete opposition to his position. I'm not against anyone living their life, so as long as they're not imposing ideologies or a way of living on everyone else. And I think that's the problem with the left. The problem with the left is that they have this sort of warped worldview of reality, and then they try to impose that worldview on everyone else. And if you don't agree with that view, you're homophobic, you're transphobic, you're every other phobic simply because you have a difference of opinion. I think it's irresponsible to, again, introduce minors to hormone blockers, puberty blockers, things that ultimately are going to harm their development. Now, if you're 18 and you're of age, sure, that's fine. Live however you want to. But then also, I think the problem that I have here is that with the left, they look at everything from this racial lens to suggest that every single white person that is within America is somehow systemically racist and looking to hold people back. And it creates sort of this division that I've talked about. And I think as a result of the division that's been created, I think we really can't find common ground and really get anywhere as a society, because you have one side of the political aisle creating a lot of this division and hatred. So that's what I would say to that. I would think more people need to be informed in regards to these issues. I think we need God and the principles of Christ within our society. I think we would do a lot better if we love our neighbor, as we love ourselves, and we would uplift things that are righteous in the end. I think our salvation depends on it, but that's all I'm going to say on that. Obviously people are going to believe what they believe. You're not going to change anyone's mind. Obviously I have a difference of opinion. He has his view and he's entitled to have that. I just am in disagreement with it. That's all.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, both of you guys are very educated. But like you said, it's just different opinions. And I just wish, I don't mind having different opinions. I don't want everyone to think like me, but I just wish we had more, civilized conversations. That's all I ask for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have to have more civilized conversations, but like I said, I appreciate you having me up. Like I said, I would love to be a part of your platform further. I'm kind of doing like 3 things at the same time. So, I couldn't engage the way I wanted to, cause I'm working now. So, but I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. Thank you. It's always good having you in my lives. You're very articulate and well-spoken. I appreciate you, man.
Nah, no problem.
All right, later, bro. See you. All right, guys. So I've been on here for hours. It's probably like 5 hours. I've probably been up here for 5 hours, but guys, a lot of the people who say W Jones or Jones destroyed you or whatever. That's fine. Like if you guys think that, and I'm not the kind of guy who always wants to win an argument. That's not even what I'm doing up here. What I'm doing up here is just having a conversation between two people who think differently, to try to come to some kind of common ground, middle ground, so that we're not enemies. We're more of, people from different backgrounds and experiences trying to come together to finally unite the country for once. That is literally my goal. The topic that I have up here is to just end racism in its entirety. I'm not taking white people's side and saying, well, it's okay that white people do it. It's not okay when black people do it. I'm not saying that. And I think everybody who has an open mind and actually listens to what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure you guys understand that I have good intentions. But there's a lot of people who are hard-headed and very tribal. They see that I have a different opinion or that I'm on the other side, and they automatically label me as the enemy or a hateful person and stuff like that. And you guys are on the wrong path. You guys are on the path of hatred and misery and just division, all kinds of negativity. So the right way was a play on words when I came up with that name, because I consider myself to be on the right side of politics, right winger. However, it's also because I feel like when I do these lives, I do it the right way. And the right way is to have an open mind, to have a long form conversation with the opposition, and to actually get somewhere. I didn't kick Jones out. I didn't mute Jones. We had a conversation. He gave me all of his evidence and statistics and opinions, and I gave him all of mine. And that's just what happened. There was no name calling. There was no, I hate you, none of that, right? It was just a conversation. So for all the Jones fans out there, I know he has a pretty big fan base, I guess. You guys are not the enemy. You guys are always welcome to be in my life. I know this probably would have gone down differently. This wouldn't have happened the way it did right now if I joined his life. It would have gone very differently. They do have echo chambers. I'm sorry to say this, Jones. I'm not trying to insult you, Jones, but you do have echo chambers when you host your lives, and that is totally your right to have that. If you want to have an echo chamber, that is totally up to you. But that's not, I don't enjoy that. And that is why I don't join your lives anymore. But you guys are always welcome to join my lives, just so you guys know that. Thank you guys for all the gifts, for all the follows, for checking in. I haven't gone live in a very long time, and I decided to do that today. Honestly, guys, I'm gonna ask you guys for one more thing before I go. My wife is having kidney problems right now, and we don't know if she's going to need a surgery. But if you guys would, I don't expect this from you. I don't expect you guys to donate anything, but if you guys could, it would, mean a lot to me. If you guys could donate a little bit of something to help my wife with her surgery. If you guys could do that, I'd highly appreciate it. But yeah, guys, everything's been going good in my life so far. I got a new apartment, very nice apartment. Just living life. And I'm at a point in my life where all I want is peace. Guys, all I want is peace. I don't care if you're a Democrat, if you hate Donald Trump, if you hate white people. I just want peace. You know what I mean? My Cash App is Diego Martinez 4206. So I guess now you guys know my real name. But thanks, guys. I appreciate everything. Like I said, you don't have to donate anything. I don't expect you guys to do anything. I'm just politely asking, and if you do, just know I'm highly appreciative of it. All right. Thank you guys for joining the Right Way Show as usual. Thank you, and have a good day.